My name is Naomi, a 48-year-old housewife. My husband, Scott, is 52 and serves as the vice president of the family-owned company. Our son, Kent, 26, is currently training at my brother's company, anticipating becoming the next president. However, this process had its problems. I was treated like a servant by Scott. What's this, huh? This ironing. Make sure the wrinkles aren't so noticeable. You useless wife, I picked you up. You should be more devoted to me, show some gratitude. You lack the essential sincerity as a person, really. And what's with this lunch? Make it more luxurious. I am the vice president. If the president's mother dies, I'll be the president. I can't eat this country-style lunch, it's like leftover, poor food, not fit for me. You stupid wife. You should be thankful you're not kicked out of the house. Am I wrong? Yes, I understand. I had no choice but to nod to his tirade. Kent, you too! Don't you dare get in fiancé like your mother. I never wanted a failure of a son like you, and if you bring home a failure of a wife, I'll kick you out. Hey, at least respond. Really, Kent, you're not cute or teachable at all. Damn. Seems like you're popular with the employees, but I don't believe in such superficial things. You must be pretending to be popular, huh? You worst son. A failure of a mother and son. You're a stain on me. Scott would get irritated on his own and storm out of the house. This was always the situation in our home. Sure, my husband has a high social status, but he's the worst person. While eating at the table, Kent showed concern for me. Mom, are you okay? Your housework is perfect. I don't know what that stupid dad is misunderstanding. It's fine, just let him say what he wants. After all, that kind of thing will eventually come back to him. It's nice that Kent is worried, but because of that, he too is disliked by Scott. It was really distressing. Then, that night happened. You're useless to me now. Let's get a divorce. Excuse me? I was baffled, not understanding what was said. Even though he disliked me, he had never hurled such terrible words. Kent was not home, working overtime. Is that so? Far from being angry, I was just speechless with dismay. All my efforts had led to this. Well, you must need your free time, right? Sure, you've been living the high life with 3 meals and naps until now, but sorry, you need to leave. I no longer loved Scott. I thought that divorcing would mean not just me, but also Kent would be thrown out. That's why I never initiated a divorce myself. Listen, I'm giving you 2 weeks to pack your stuff. If anything is left, I'll throw it away, no matter what it is. I'm gonna sleep at the office today. Got it? Be grateful for the 2 weeks I'm giving you. See ya. With that, Scott slammed the door and left the house. But he wasn't heading to the office. Scott had a mistress. Her name is apparently Angie, though I've never met her. Must be nice for him. I had devoted myself to Scott, but in the end, he goes to his mistress. Then Kent comes home from overtime. What's wrong, Mom? Kent looked at my face, seemingly noticing my slight disturbance. I told Kent exactly what my husband had said. Wow, seriously? Mom, your ironing and housework are perfect. I'm not a mama's boy, but I prefer a domestic woman like you. And he tells you not to bring home a failure of a wife? Isn't he the failure? Strutting around at the company, always busy with golf meetings. I may be at a relative's company, but everyone knows Dad's misdeeds. Yet he's getting cocky. What a terrible man. Even Kent was absolutely furious at this. Scott's dislike for Kent had a reason. It was because Kent closely resembles me, both in looks and in thinking. That was the cause. Mom, did you say anything back? After being told off like that, you'd be right to say something. I know it. That stupid dad has a mistress, doesn't he? Even with a mother like you who does so much, he's got another woman. Oh, man. What a terrible guy. But you know, Kent, it's okay. If I leave, he'll probably realize the value of a useless wife, and it'll all work out. You just need to stand firm and take over your grandmother's company. Don't worry about me. The company is stable while your grandmother is president, and there's no way Scott will be appointed president. She's bound to appoint you because you've proven yourself at the relative's company. So, you see. But he's the one who squandered Grandpa's inheritance, and I know it. He has a mistress, right? Isn't that awful? Mom's not to blame, yet he's kicking you out like this. It's cowardly, vile, and the worst of all. Mom, you took care of Grandpa for 12 years, and he spent Grandpa's insurance money on his mistress, didn't he? I know it. He thinks I'm just a kid and underestimates me. Has that stupid dad ever looked at himself in the mirror? Not considering anyone else's feelings. If I had the power, I'd deal with that guy. Kent, it's okay. If you take over from your grandmother, that's all I need. Being kicked out doesn't mean we're estranged. We can still contact each other in this day and age. I'll go back to my parents' house, but don't you confront that man. Sorry, Scott treat you badly because you look like me. Kent? Then, after much thought, Kent spoke up. Hey, let's not divorce just yet. What? Kent's strategy was pretty good for a quick thought. I agreed to Kent's suggestion, thinking of it as my final revenge. If that stupid dad attacks you, make sure to call the police, okay? It would be terrible if something happened while I'm not around. Take care of yourself, Mom. It's okay, I will take care of myself. Your idea is brilliant. Thanks for giving me hope. I was grateful for my son's concern. Then, about a week passed. That evening, unusually, Scott came home. And immediately started yelling at me. Hey! Why are you still here? Oh, you're packing up? Hurry up and get your stuff together. Can't you even do that? Didn't I tell you to get out of the house? Have you packed your things? Hey, say something. Or are you still napping and haven't packed yet? Really, you're a good-for-nothing, charmless ex-wife. Or what? You have nowhere to go and don't want to be homeless, so you're staying put. Haha. This is great. What a joke. Hey. Say something. To Scott's ranting, I responded nonchalantly. I haven't packed yet, you know, because I was told I have 2 weeks, right? It's only been 1 week, hasn't it? Am I wrong? Please, take responsibility for what you say. Or maybe, it would look bad for you if it got out that you kicked out your useless wife, wouldn't it? Damn, you. Always have an excuse, don't you? Fine, you only have 1 week left. Stop fooling around. Mocking me like that. With that attitude, you'll fail wherever you go. You're a useless old woman. Well, you did give birth to an heir, but that's about all you're good for. Get out of here, you slowpoke. With that, Scott left the house. I won't be intimidated by whatever is said to me. And to think you don't know what I do during the day. Such a careless man. All talk, indeed. And if I'm an old woman, then you're an old man. It's embarrassing, you're the one who's a failure, not understanding anything. I, with the help of a detective agency, my own efforts, and Kent's, gathered various pieces of evidence. Kent was right. Indeed, Scott was excited about his father's inheritance when he passed away, whispering, "How much is the inheritance? The insurance money? Oh, I can't wait to see how much I'll get." He squandered his share of the inheritance on gambling and lavish outings with his mistress, Angie. I got testimonies about Scott's usual work from his secretary. Kent and I looked at the credit card statements withdrawn from the account and meticulously recorded everything purchased in a notebook. I recorded the statements and the verbal abuse I faced. Kent recorded the laziness of his father at work and from the secretary. A week passed. I hid the collected evidence in the closet, waiting steadfastly for Scott to return. The meek version of myself was gone. As expected, Scott came back and immediately started shouting. "Don't mess with me! Why are you still here? A week has passed. The deadline has come, why are you still in the house? Ah, you must be clinging on because you have nowhere to go, right? Miserable, pitiful, you've fallen so low, you can't give up the status of being the vice president's wife, huh? You're the worst woman ever. Hey, say something." 2 weeks have passed, but I never said I was leaving. I'm a failure of a wife, remember? You need to make it clear. I deliberately said something to provoke him. In response, Scott turned red with anger and yelled. "All right, I get it. You want me to make it clear, right? Get out of this house. Understand? Now say it. Say you will leave this house. I'll hold you to your word." "All right, I will leave within a week. That's what you want, right?" Scott, who had been red with rage, calmed down and smirked. "Leaving within a week, I heard that clearly. All right, get out. You got it. Making me go through all this trouble." Scott left the house, laughing loudly, unaware that his rant had been recorded on a voice recorder. What a foolish man. Hey, Kent, did you hear that? Yeah, really the lowest and most worthless man. Kent had been listening in secret. Did you gather the evidence? I've collected quite a bit too, but now we need to consolidate it and present it directly to your grandmother. Yeah, Grandma will listen and be Mom's side. After all, you are not a failure of a wife. Maybe we should act fast? I'll contact Grandma and let's have a meeting the day after tomorrow, of course, about that worthless man. What a reliable son he was. Then the next day, Kent managed to get some time from work and secured an appointment with the female president, his grandmother, to show her the evidence collected. The grandmother's fury was immense, as if her anger could turn the world upside down. While Kent and I were having dinner at home, Scott returned. Not even a week had passed. "Are you mocking me? You said you'd leave within a week, why are you still here? Don't think you can deceive me. You stupid woman, failure of a wife." Kent shook his head in disbelief. I responded nonchalantly. "Well, I did say I'd leave within a week, but did I say I was leaving this house? You should have gotten a clear statement. You have a tendency to be naive. I haven't even written the divorce papers yet, so I suppose I can stay in this house, right? Am I wrong? Damn you. Mom, maybe it's time to just divorce him? Well, I wonder what to do. You all are messing with me. If you anger me, I'll make it so you can't stay in Japan. Don't think you can make me angry and get away with it." To his childish rant, I internally laughed with confidence. I have my strong ally, Kent, and the evidence is coming together. We have an emergency meeting with my mother-in-law scheduled for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the perfect chance to settle all the grievances. The next day arrived, and I got ready to meet the female president, my mother-in-law. To prevent Scott from finding out about the meeting, my mother-in-law booked a large hotel near the company. Kent joined me there, and we showed the collected evidence, recordings from the voice recorder, and notes. Seeing the detailed records in the notebook of what had been said to me, my mother-in-law slammed the notebook on the table. "That stupid son. I'll never let him become the president like this. Naomi, I've caused you so much trouble. I apologize as a woman. Kent, how considerate you are of your mother. I'm moved by the trust between you two. Kent, you must continue to support your mother, okay? Don't end up like that useless, stupid, idiotic father." "Of course, I won't." "Enough, let's settle this. Naomi, call Scott home, any reason will do. I will protect you. And if I were to appoint the next president, it would be Kent, who has been performing well in the branch office, not the vice president who just messes around. No matter what anyone says, I will appoint my grandson. I should stop covering for my own son, enough is enough." Let's make him face the consequences. Afterward, my mother-in-law, Kent, and I headed to the house in her car. I then called Scott to the house. From the faint sound of a woman's voice, he might have been at his mistress's place, not the office. The sound of footsteps hurried at the entrance. I had told him on the phone that I would leave the house, so he might have taken it seriously. Finally leaving, huh? Wait, Mom. And Kent too. Why are you here? What about work? What were you doing at your mistress's place? My mother-in-law slammed her hand on the dining table. How much more do you need to verbally abuse Naomi? Calling her a failure of a wife. The real failure is you. If it were another era, you'd be chased out of this town. Naomi has been supporting this house all along, and what have you done? Talking about becoming the future president, we gave you the vice president position to learn, but you've just been playing around, pretending to entertain. Just golfing with buddies and even trying to put that on expenses. Someone like you, a spoiled brat who knows no hardship, we don't need in our company. We'll bring all your actions to the board meeting. But it's a fact that you'll be looked down upon. I won't cover for you anymore. What? Has Naomi been talking nonsense about me? Mom, I'm not just playing around. I've been trying hard in my own way. Thinking you can do anything because you tried in your own way. What you've done is verbal violence towards Naomi. And even though you say he's your own son, you verbally abuse Kent. Such a low vice president is just non-recyclable trash. But I'm the rightful successor of the company. Naomi, what have you been telling my mother? You're accusing your in-laws. Pushing everything onto Mom. You're not a father, you're a devil. The worst parent. A brute. Grandma's claims and Mom's words are all right. You're the one who's wrong, stupid dad. You. How dare you speak to your parent like that, calling me stupid? You have no right to say that. After all these years of protecting Dad's company. Do you think I'm senile? And I heard about it. You've been hanging around your mistress's house. Mom, she's the woman fit to be the president's wife. Unlike brainless old Naomi, she's capable. Plus, she's the top graduate of East West Women's Academy. That's famous academy. Not just any woman can attend, only those with proper education and good family background can. Even you would agree if you met her. A woman who snatches someone else's husband. What kind of president's wife is that? A woman who doesn't understand obligation or compassion is worthless. What's the big deal about East West Women's Academy? It's just a school for the rich, not the lowest in education. That academy is a third-rate, all-show school. Given that a company is made of people, a woman who commits adultery is just a thieving cat. A thief. Do you think I would welcome such a woman? How foolish can you be? There's no way I would allow it. Anyway, you owe Naomi an apology now. Mom. Understand. Naomi isn't suitable. I'm the vice president, yet she only gives me poor lunches, and her ironing is all wrinkled. I'm embarrassed. What poor lunch? That was a proper meal, meticulously planned for your nutrition, and it was different every day. I thought so highly of you, the worthless you. Do you know how hard it is to think about the contents of those lunches? And Naomi's ironing is the best. There's no better housekeeper than her. The shirt you are wearing now might have been ironed by your mistress, but that shirt is just full of wrinkles. You've become so vulgar that you can't even see that. You stupid son. After that, the house turned into a battlefield. My mother-in-law and Kent berated Scott terribly, but I didn't take his side. Instead, I watched Scott being cornered, almost enjoying his downfall. Confronted by his mother and son, Scott became smaller and smaller. Then, our eyes met. Naomi. Scott approached me pathetically and bowed at my feet. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Let's stop the divorce. I'll take it back, so you don't need to think about divorcing anymore, and you can put your things back, right? I put a piece of paper on Scott's face as he looked up. Here you go. What's this? A divorce paper. Hey. I said we don't need to divorce. I wonder if it's right to accept such convenient terms for you? I'll inform the lawyer of everything, so be prepared for the appropriate compensation, okay? And by the way, your mistress graduated top of her class from East West Women's Academy, but I graduated from Stanford University. What? No way. You, from Stanford University? East West Women's Academy is nothing compared to me. It's just a school for pampered girls, isn't it? A school that values family background over real ability. Which one do you think is smarter? I kept taunting Scott relentlessly. His face turned from blue to pale white. I delivered the final blow. Oh, and I heard that woman Angie is pregnant with your child, right? I know. But do you know? It sounds like Angie likes to have affairs and stealing husbands from other women. She's a woman of bad taste, having affairs with other men and being claimed for compensation by 3 wives already. That's your ideal woman? I just learned you have such a taste. But is that child in her belly really yours? Maybe she's just after your money, not you? No, she wouldn't do such a thing. You must be mistaken. Angie wouldn't do such a thing. Oh, so you admit to having a mistress now? That gives us enough reason for divorce. Tough for you. How much will you have to pay each month in compensation? Kent and your mother say they don't need it, but make sure you pay me properly. You worthless husband. That's. After I struck the final blow, my mother-in-law and Kent stood up. I took only my change of clothes and decided to stay at my mother-in-law's house for now, leaving Scott in a daze at the house. We dropped Kent at his company in my mother-in-law's car, and then I went with her to her home. Use this room. I've made you live a wasted life. I will also support you, and we will ruthlessly extract compensation from that stupid son. I will provide you with a good lawyer. Would that be a way to atone? Of course, Mother, thank you. I've finally vented all the pent-up frustration I had, and my heart feels clear now. I should be the one thanking you. You really are a wonderful daughter-in-law. I promise. Scott will be made to leave the company, and he will pay the compensation properly, no matter what it takes. Afterward, my mother-in-law held an emergency board meeting at the company, shared all the circumstances, and decided on Scott's fate. The unanimous decision was to dismiss Scott from his vice presidential position. Everyone expressed their unwillingness to work under such a man, and I thought it was a natural outcome, deserving no sympathy. Thus, I was truly liberated, and Scott's life as vice president ended. I continued living in the same house, retaining various rights, thanks to the lawyer. Now, Kent and I are living together. One day, while I was washing dishes, my phone rang. Hello? Who's this? Though I didn't recognize the number. Something clicked, and I decided to answer. Hello. Hey, do you even know what you have done? A woman's voice shrieked, likely Angie. Who might you be? Because of you, everything is ruined. You know that, right? I was loved by Scott unlike you, and you drove him out of the company. You are a classless, heartless, vulgar woman. I'm more suited to be the president's wife. You demon. Wicked woman. Witch. I don't understand what you're saying, but Scott and I are divorced. He's the man you wanted, right? Do whatever you please with Scott. Wait. I'm pregnant and can't work. I'm struggling to live. You should give me some support. Goodbye, Angie. If you call again, I'll consult my lawyer. I hung up. I could imagine the woman's dismay on the other end. A fitting turn of events. Thus, I settled everything. Kent, who had achieved success at my uncle's company, became a celebrity, even featured in magazines. Mr. Kent Schwab. What's the secret to your success? How did you manage to grow the company so much? Responding to the journalist's queries, Kent said, "Valuing and trusting people is the most important thing." Seeing Kent's success, my mother-in-law decided to step down as president. In a board meeting, Kent was unanimously appointed as the new president. "Congratulations, Kent. You have to work even harder from now on." "Mom, I will always protect you. So, rely on me." Kent, my reliable son, gained enough competence that no one would call him a foolish man, leading the company inherited from my mother-in-law. With guidance and teachings from the now-retired mother-in-law, the company expanded, opening new branches. Kent, with a keen eye for people, surrounded himself with capable personnel. Together with his tough-talking close associates, he will continue to enhance the company's success. For Kent, who graduated from a top university in UK, he learned how to speak French there. So fluent in French, some people even mistake him for being from a French-speaking country. Despite becoming busier, Kent worked hard without complaint and eventually started dealing with overseas companies. Overseas, the name Kent Schwab was picked up on the internet and in newspapers, and yet Kent reminded himself, "Victory lies in keeping one's guard up, right, Mom? Take care. You're going to the UK for a while, right? Did you pack everything? What about your laptop? I'm an adult now, so stop treating me like a child. Just call me if anything happens. You can talk to me about anything." With that, Kent left for a long business trip. After the retired mother-in-law passed away, I helped with the management of Kent's company, spending my days actively. Eventually, Kent brought home a classy woman. "Mom, I want to marry this person. Hello, nice to meet you." I trusted Kent and supported the woman he believed in. She was a capable wife, supporting Kent and able to prepare daily changing lunches. She was like how I used to be, a woman proficient in household tasks. Years later, Kent got married and is now a father of both a son and a daughter, and I became a grandmother. The grandchildren are very honest and good children. They can be a bit too mischievous at times, but Kent's wife disciplines them properly. Sometimes it's important to spoil them a bit, you know? I agree, but we must discipline them where necessary. Kent's chosen wife is full of love and compassion, a real matriarch. When the grandchildren are scolded by her, they come to me. But I don't overly pamper them either, instead, I assist in their education. Kent is still young as a president, but he has achieved remarkable success. Now, even as he ventures into other industries, he consults with others, listens to their opinions, and doesn't manage the company alone, becoming a capable president. I have no worries and thus have become truly happy.